So this is another thing that I have often heard, is that Egypt bears a lot of responsibility for what's happening in Gaza. And this is something that, I see when I look on a map that they're very close, but I'm wondering if you can explain to me what role Egypt does and does not play for what's happening in Gaza, and what burden rests with them.
Well, Egypt controlled Gaza until 1967. And you can blame them for a variety of things up to 67, when there was an Egyptian military administration of the Gaza Strip. And Egypt has controlled one of the crossings out of Gaza, the Rafah crossing, until Israel occupied it a few months ago. Today, Israel controls all access to the Gaza Strip, up until a few months ago, when Israel occupied the Rafah crossing and occupied the border of Gaza with Egypt. Egypt controlled, in part, access. Now, it didn't fully control access. Anybody who entered had to be vetted by Israeli security, electronically. So Israel actually controlled access with Egyptian assistance. And I would blame the Egyptians in part. They had their reasons, maybe, but for whatever reasons they gave and whatever reasons they may have had, they participated in the blockade of the Gaza Strip. It wasn't just an Israeli blockade. It was mainly an Israeli blockade, but it was also an Egyptian blockade. I could go into the Egyptian reasons, but that's another issue.
I would be curious to hear them.
Well, one thing that the Egyptians were worried about was the fact that they had an insurgency in Sinai, and they didn't want Palestinians to be influencing or arming or helping the insurgents in the Sinai Peninsula. And so they had reasons for wanting to control the flow of arms and people across the border between Gaza and Egyptian Sinai. There are other reasons too. One of them is their treaty with Israel, which for the Egyptian regime is very important, their peace treaty with Israel.